Hi, good evening, everybody. I'm Kenny Fogle. Glad you could join us here on Community Focus here in Nelson County. We're on Channel 6 TV. We're going to be talking a little bit. We're going to have a little awards ceremony with the Chamber of Commerce just recently, and one of the awards is the Woman of the Year. Miss Vicki Ward, who's with me today, is a recipient of that award. First of all, welcome to the show, Vicki. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me, Kenny.
Well, it's absolutely an honor to have you here, and quite a big honor that you got the other night.
Yes, it was. I'm very honored, very blessed.
Well, before we get started, tell us a little bit about who is Vicki Ward. Where do we come from, and how'd you get this far?
Well, I'm not sure how I got here. But
I think that's the story of all our lives. Just poof, here we are one day.
Gosh, okay. Well, I've married to my husband for 38 years. We're 39 this year. We have 2 daughters, 4 grandkids. Lived here in Bardstown for many, many years. And I've been a nurse almost 30 years, and 20 of that was working in home health. And so 5.5, almost 6 years ago, somebody said, well, there's a job out at Nazareth. Why don't you apply for that? And I said, no, I'm fine. I like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so they insisted I apply for this job, and next thing you know, I've got an interview, and then next thing you know, they're calling me, telling me, oh yeah, when can you start work?
Yeah.
So I started work out there in May of 2013. And I thought, I walked in and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm glad to be here, but I've really had a lot to learn. So I remember running into Sister Ann. Sister Ann Boone used to run the villages for many, many years. She said, Vicki, you don't have a job. This is a ministry. And that kind of changed everything for me. So going into it knowing that it's not really a job, it's a ministry. So we go in every day and we serve those people who need our assistance.
Well, and in the background you just mentioned home health. I mean, I admire anybody who could do that, because I don't know that I could even. You're dealing with some pretty major issues. A lot of times it's elderly. A lot of times it's people terminally ill. And you've got to have a compassionate heart to do that. I don't care. I mean, so you were well prepared coming into this job. Well
prepared in the fact that I had been in a lot of senior citizens' homes and helping them get the equipment, get the needed resources that they needed to stay at home. And that's our goal out at Nazareth, to keep people there, let them live there as long as they want to live there.
Well, they keep talking about the senior years being our golden years. Well, I've got aches and pains now, and I'm not real senior yet, but I'm getting there. But it's not as great as they paint the picture. You see this every day, so you have to deal. I'm not saying you have to deal with a lot of turmoil, but it's different every day, I'm sure.
Everybody has their own issues, and everybody that gets to that age, you've been through a lot. You've been through a lot in your lifetime, and you put 150 people with those issues and their lifetimes together. You do have a lot of things to deal with. So
I was going to ask you, how many people do you have out there right now?
We have about 150. We have 146 apartments, and we have several couples that live out there.
Yeah. So when you're dealing with like I said, senior issues, obviously it's not just age, it's dementia, it's arthritis. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. And then like I said, I just can't imagine the amount of patience you have to do that.
Well, we do. They have lots of physical ailments, you have mental ailments, you have financial ailments. We serve the low income. So there are lots of opportunities for us to.
So what do y'all provide there at Nazareth? As far as I know, you have meals, obviously, there throughout the day.
No, each person has their own apartment, and they have a kitchen, a small kitchenette.
Oh, okay.
And they can fix their own meals. They can come and go as they want. So they do have the opportunity to eat at the Nazareth Mother House up on the campus. If they choose to, they can eat the noon meal up there.
Yeah.
So most of them are able to provide for themselves.
So you get called, I guess you're on call 24 hours a day pretty much.
We are. I have a great staff, and we take turns taking call. So yes, we have issues at times with facilities, you know, with plumbing or elevators, but we have on-call maintenance staff 24/7, and they are very quick to get out and take care of those issues.
Well, 30-some years ago, you decided to become a nurse. Why?
Well, I was called, I've always been called to serve. My parents, that's just the way they raised us. We've always given whatever we could. After I had my children, I had 2 babies, and I thought, wow, I need to go back to school. I need to do something. And I went over to Elizabethtown Community College, and the lady said, well, why don't you try the nursing program? I said, oh, no. Oh, no, that's not for me. And she said, why don't you just try it? Well, I love science, so I took some anatomy classes, some chemistry, microbiology, and I thought, wow, I want to try this nursing thing. Got into nursing and loved it. And our first rotations for clinicals were at a nursing home, and I loved it. I loved it.
So you started out with the elderly more so than you.
I did.
So you knew what you was getting into.
Well, I started out thinking, oh, I could be a labor and delivery nurse. I could be a pediatric nurse. No, I love working with older people.
Yeah. Well, it's a special group. Like I said, I know as I've dealt with some throughout my life, you have to have a lot of patience. You have to and respect. I think that's the number one thing. Is I think I've dealt with some people in different situations, and I think that's the number one thing is they want is respect. So.
Right. I mean, and they deserve that. You know, they deserve that. They've lived their lives. They've worked and gone through many, many things to get to the age where they're at. So I think we all should respect that.
So somebody recognized this, and somebody submitted you to be a candidate for Woman of the Year for the Bardstown Nelson County Chamber of Commerce, and somebody on the Bardstown Nelson County Chamber of Commerce decided you were worthy of that honor. So how'd you find this out?
Well, I was in Florida, and I got a phone call from Samantha up at the chamber, and she said, guess what? You've been selected. And I really had no idea that I was even nominated, but my staff nominated me, and I'm very thankful, and I'm very appreciative. And it's an honor. I love working with the chamber. I love to go to chamber events and meet new people and work in the community.
So what's next? And I know you've got a long ways to go in the nursing world. Or are you settled into where you want to be the rest of your life, or do you have a big plan of?
I think I'm going to stay where I'm at right now. I think I'm looking forward to retirement. Not anytime soon. We all wish for that, but I think I'm good for where I'm at right now. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and it's a good place to be.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, like I said, we're tickled to death to honor people such as yourself because, again, people you think of it as routine. I know that somebody that does this, they just think, well, why am I being honored? Because this is what you do in life, but it's really not. I mean, you see yourself differently than a lot of others do, because a lot of us, again, we admire somebody that can work with the sick, the elderly, and do this every day and think this is just normal, because it's not normal. It's a difficult situation, and we're tickled to death. We've got people like you that are doing it. So, again, very welcome for the honor, and tickled to death you got it. So.
Well, thank you very much.
Well,
thank you for having me. And you think this is this is not commonplace for me to come and talk to you. So.
Well, I understand. We've all got our commonplace. Well, Vicki Ward, like I said, the Bardstown Nelson County Chamber of Commerce Woman of the Year this year. We certainly appreciate her being in here, taking time out of her day, because I'm sure you got to get back to work, and there's always another crisis going on somewhere.
Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for having me, Ken.
All right. Well, thank you for being here. Stick around. A lot more to come here on Channel 6 TV. We'll be right back.